Well. What is up? I'm back with another episode. Appreciate you tuning back in. I feel like I'm right up on top of the camera there. So as far as my taper, yesterday, again, 3.3 grams for the whole day. Slept pretty well last night. Again, I took some kava and then also a melatonin for sleep. Had somebody ask me in my comments of my video from yesterday how that worked for me, and worked pretty well. Again, I will say, at the point that I've tapered down to, in other words, the point that I've tapered down to, the 3.3 grams per day, that's not very much kratom per day. You're looking at 5 capsules for the whole day, which I'm taking all at one time. Last night I ended up taking my kratom dose at 6:45, close to 7 in the evening. And when you get to that point, you're pretty much kind of starting to feel normal without it. So that does get better, after a few weeks of tapering down. And then when you get to a point where you're not taking that much of it, your times that you're not under the influence of it start to feel a little more like baseline, like how you felt before you ever started taking kratom. I haven't really been experiencing a lot of withdrawals or anything like that. Energy levels been pretty good. I do exercise, so that does, and I eat healthy as well, so I think that does help as far as the energy level when coming off of something like kratom. I have had a few moments of kind of moodiness or like feeling a little bit down, kind of like, oh, well, I wish I could just keep taking kratom all the time. But then, I give myself a few minutes, and after 10 minutes or so, that feeling kind of passes. And then if you engage in something and put your hands in something and just start working and focusing on something else, you'll turn around 2 hours later and you'll be like, well, what do you know? I made it through that craving. Now I'm on the other side of it, and now I feel a lot better because I didn't concede and resign to just taking kratom again. So I did sleep pretty well. The kava and the melatonin helped. But I just want to remind folks that, I'm down to the point at this point where my physical withdrawals are not all that bad. And that's just because look at the amount I'm on. I'm not taking that much at this point. And the lesser amount that you're taking and that your body is accustomed to on a daily basis, that is going to be a direct and opposite reflection of what your withdrawals are going to be like. So if you're taking an amount of kratom that's way up here every day, when you go to stop, your withdrawals are going to be where? You guessed it, way up here. So your withdrawals are going to be more intense. If you're taking 3 grams of kratom powder per day, like I'm taking, which is not very much, then guess what? Your body begins to adjust and your withdrawals tend to be a lot less. So my withdrawals at this point are just basically a little bit of, chest discomfort and, discomfort in my kind of belly, almost like I'm having a craving, sort of. And I'm experiencing a little bit of that at night, just like a slight uneasiness sort of thing. And it doesn't really even manifest as like restless legs or anything, which, granted, I still am taking a little bit of kratom. I'm not completely off of it, although I'm down to a very, very small dose. I'm not completely off, but the kava and the melatonin that I've been taking, to answer the question of the commenter who said, is the kava and the melatonin helping you? Yes, it is helping me, but I'm also not in, serious, heavy physical withdrawals at this point because of, how much I've cut down my dosage. So, I think something like kava and melatonin can be pretty effective when you've cut down your kratom to a point where your withdrawals are not that bad. Now, I will say, when I was first coming off of the MIT extracts and my withdrawals were much more intense, I just couldn't seem to find much that really helped a lot with the withdrawals. I didn't try kava at that time, But I did try melatonin a few times, and I'm sorry, if your withdrawals are intense and you're coming off of something like an extract, and you've been taking that stuff on a regular basis, daily, all the time, then I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your withdrawals are to a degree and a level that just not a lot seems to help. I can't say a lot for kava, but I'm guessing kava is probably about the same. It may help a little bit, kind of help decrease the withdrawals a little bit. I've heard that magnesium, a supplement called Calm, which is actually magnesium, I've heard that can help. Folks have said that melatonin can help. And, again, I reiterate, I think they can help, and maybe lessen the intensity of the withdrawals a little bit. But if you're going through heavy withdrawals, sometimes you just got to suck it up, and try to be a man about it, and just try to accept the fact that you might not sleep that well for a few nights. You can do all those other little things: exercise, cold showers, eat bananas, magnesium, kava, melatonin, all these things that can kind of, help relax you. But nothing is going to completely take away the physical withdrawals. And again, this is all relative. If you're a person that's only taking a few grams of kratom per day and you're not a really heavy user of it, you may not really struggle too bad with withdrawals. You may, go for a night or two and not really sleep all that well, and then things kind of get back to baseline for you and back to normal. If you're a person like me who's been taking it for 4 years straight, the powder that is, for 4 years straight, and been taking the extracts, on and off, 1 or 2 a day for up to a year like I had, then that increases your tolerance. And again, I point back to the higher your tolerance is, the more intense your withdrawals when you go to come off of said kratom. So again, it all just depends on the person, your relationship with kratom. I talked a lot yesterday about your relationship with kratom. It all depends on all of those things, what your withdrawals will be like. And there are things that you can do to curb the withdrawals and help the withdrawals, although I haven't found anything that really can completely mitigate and negate physical withdrawals from something like kratom or some other opiate. There might be some people out there that would disagree with me, but the only method I've seen is either time with cold turkey. In other words, you go 3, 4, 5, 6 days and allow your body and the chemicals in your body time to readjust to where you're back to baseline, back to normal. Then you can start sleeping normally again. Then your body will kind of go back to normal, how it was before, and guess what? You're finished with the withdrawals. The only other method that I know of, tapering. Doing a slow taper, cutting it down once every 3 or 4 days, cutting down your dosage by about a gram per day. And if you do that very slowly over a period of a month, 2 months, depending on how much you're taking, for some people that might be 3 months, 6 months. I mean, I've heard of people doing long tapers that took them 9 months, a year to complete the taper. Me personally, I'm a little bit too impatient for that. I kind of want it to go a little quicker. Plus, I wasn't taking a high enough amount where I really feel like it warrants that sort of time commitment. I'd rather just go ahead and cut it down, get it done, and be back to baseline as soon as possible. So, cold turkey, time, letting a few days pass, get back to normal. Taper, slowly, every 3 or 4 days, cut down your dose by about a half gram to a gram. What this does is specifically just tricks your body and tricks your mind into not noticing the lesser amount that you're giving it, because your body gets accustomed to a certain amount of kratom that you're giving it every day, and then your body adjusts its own chemicals and opiate receptors, how much dopamine it puts out, how much serotonin it puts out. It adjusts all these things based on how much kratom it is sensing coming into the body. So if you're only decreasing the dosage by just a little bit every day, then your body only adjusts by just a little bit every day. And it's a constant, like, kratom goes down, the amount of dopamine, amount of serotonin starts to go up. Kratom amount goes down. Serotonin, dopamine production of the body starts to go up. Down, up, to the point where the kratom's gone, and then you're back to normal up here. So it's kind of like tricking your body into thinking that, hey, nothing here to see, everything's normal, I'm giving you the same amount that I was yesterday. And in effect, you kind of can trick your body into not really having the physical withdrawals, at least to, you know, a major level where they're really going to take you off your game and cause you to not be able to do what you need to do on a daily basis. So anyway, that's where I'm at, just encouraging those people who may be on Kratom, coming off of Kratom. Maybe you're on Kratom and you've gotten to the point with your Kratom use where it's starting to concern you a little bit, and maybe you think it's time to cut down, maybe reset your tolerance to where you're taking less again, or maybe you just want to stop taking it altogether. Whichever category you fall in, I'm here to support you through that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what your current progress is. And I got to jump off of here because my schedule has been a little different today. I had to go to kind of a job fair today and, you know, talk to some kids who were going into the workforce and stuff like that, about possibly coming to the workforce and coming to the company that I work for. That's not what I typically do on a daily basis. My owner of my company asked that I could go because the guy who normally does it was not able to go today, so I went and filled in for him in his place, which means my schedule is a little bit different today, and I only have a couple of minutes right now before I have to be back at work. So I had to make this video really short. But hey, stay on the straight and narrow out there. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to be continuing my taper. And if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know where you are in your progress. Keep me updated. I like to know these things. I get involved with my listeners. I get concerned about my listeners. And if you were on something harder and you've switched to the Kratom, stay on the Kratom. Do not go back to the harder stuff. And then you can potentially come off of the Kratom altogether. That's what I'm preaching to you. All right. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. All right, peace.